Hi Nick, this chart is for Nick Jass. It's he's born under Mars, February 17th, 1970, around 5:30 p.m. Somewhere between 5:30 and 7 p.m. So in Birmingham, England. So that puts his sun in Aquarius. The moon is in watery Cancer, and your ascendant is Leo. So your ascendant is how you present yourself. So it would give you a very strong, Leos are very proud. They have a very strong ego. It would give you sort of a regal, dramatic flair. It's in Leo is in. There are no planets there, but it is your ascendant, and so it's in both the 12th and the first house. And you have Virgo in your second house, and your first house as well. So yeah, so your ascendant is colored kind of Leo, but I toyed with it being Virgo as well. I toyed with the ascendant an hour or two. So anyway, I put it somewhere in the middle. So Leo is fire. It would make you very fiery, give you a lot of energy, very strong self-will. It's a fixed sign. Yeah, it could give you leadership skills, or just give you a lot of drive, fiery drive, the arts or drama, or it could, frequently Leo ascendant or Leo suns, will have like a full mane of hair, a lot of hair. Yeah, but they have a very strong ego. They're very proud. They tend to talk about themselves a lot. And they're very good at self-expression, is what I'm trying to say. They're very self-expressive, expressive, and have a very strong heart, very generous spirit, very generous spirit. So in your second house of money and assets, and what you value, your values, you have Virgo, which is, the planet of, the sign of work and health. So that's a good placement for Virgo. You do have Pluto in Virgo. So Pluto would make you very passionate about money and assets, or how you make them. They would be very important to you. And Pluto is sextile Mercury in Aquarius, so that's a harmonious flowing aspect. So that would help you to make money, because Pluto would give you the intensity, the passion, the drive, because Pluto's the ruler of Scorpio. And because your Mercury is in Aquarius, your sun's in Aquarius as well, the way you make money could be colored Aquarian. It could be through communication somehow, because Mercury rules communication. It rules Gemini, and they're both air signs. Both Gemini and Aquarius and Libra are all air signs. So with Pluto there, your work, your assets, your money could change. It could transform in some way, because Pluto is there. Your third house is Uranus. You have your ruling planet Uranus, because you are an Aquarius. So Aquarius is ruled by both Saturn and Uranus. So your ruling planet is in Libra, which is sign of communication. So that colors communication again. Having your ruler there You would be very good at communicating with people. However, your communication may come off very, very strong because it is square to Mars, or it is rather opposed to Mars. And Mars in Aries. Mars is the ruler of Aries, so Mars is very, very aggressive and very strong drive and initiative, and it's a powerful placement to have Mars in Aries. So your communication would be very powerful. Um, yeah, and so with Uranus in Libra, it would be very changeable as well, and that is your ruler. So you could use that. Challenging aspects, you can use them to your benefit, because the communication would be very changeable. You might get bored doing the same thing over and over. So you might want to mix it up, um, or your communication could be challenged. You may be free, independent thinker, and it could be challenged, or someone could be argumentative with you, or not want to adapt to your views, which are very changeable. So, but to have your ruler in Uranus, I mean your ruler Uranus in Libra would be maybe communication through the arts, or through electronics, or through the arts. The fourth house is your home. It's that the ruler. You've got the ruler. The ruler of your home, the moon, is in Cancer. So, so that makes you extremely sensitive. The moon in Cancer. You do have a lot of water, and you have Jupiter in Scorpio in your home. So your home, wherever Jupiter is, it expands, and it's a very, very deep water sign. So your intuition would be extremely, extremely strong because you have the moon in Cancer. You have, Venus in Pisces, where it's exalted in Pisces, and your North Node in Pisces. So it would give you very strong, intuitive, gut level intuition that you would need to listen to, because if you listen to it, it can help you to overcome. Listen to your inner self, to your hunches. It can help you to overcome some of your more challenging aspects, especially the inconjuncts, because sometimes there are like parts of our personality or our chart that are maybe seen by others, but they're kind of hidden from us, and they're hard to integrate into our chart. But it would make you extremely intuitive, maybe a little bit psychic, and I could see the interest in astrology would definitely come from the Sun in Aquarius, because Aquarius practically rules astrology, and I would look for Saturn, your ruler of Aquarius as well, and it's in your midheaven. It's in 3 degrees Taurus, so so that again, Taurus on your midheaven is material and money. Maybe Venus rules Taurus, so it could be music. Those things could be very, very important to you. Your assets, or how to make money. And with Pluto in your second house of Virgo, that's very important to you. And somehow Pluto, this is what jumped out at me, your Pluto and Virgo in the second house of money and assets and values is in conjunct to your Sun in Aquarius. So somehow, sometimes we don't know how that's going to play out. I have inconjuncts in my chart as well, and sometimes we can't see how that plays out in our lives, but maybe others can. It's kind of like our, like a side, a facet of our personality that's kind of hidden from us, but maybe others see it really well. So something to do with maybe your intense desire to acquire money, or you're changing assets, affecting your son and your son in your relationship house somehow. Maybe changes there, but the Sun conjunct Venus in your relationship house is very, very fortunate. That would bring good fortune and good luck in relationships, but they would be colored sensitive, because Venus in Pisces is extremely sensitive and intuitive and detached at the same time, because you have the Sun in Aquarius. So, and you would be a good friend. You would be such a good friend. So not only would you romanticize a relationship, it could be all partnerships as well, but you would also be a very good friend, so, and it could be, like a higher cause, because Aquarians are such humanitarians. The Venus and Pisces could add a more spiritual level to, or put the rose-tinted spectacles on your relationships, so, but your Aquarian detachment might help to see through some of that, because you do have both in your 7th house. So it could be, who would want the Sun and Venus in their 7th house? That's very fortunate for relationships. It's very, very, very good. So your 4th house, Jupiter in your 4th house in Scorpio would make, wherever Jupiter is, it just expands and brings good luck. And Scorpio is the ruler of joint assets. So it could bring you good fortune, somehow in the home. Maybe you were, it is opposed to Saturn, though, in the midheaven. So, and Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. So, maybe there was some traveling involved. But Jupiter is, expands and enlarges. So, and Scorpio is joint assets and, intensity and passion. So that just would color your home life. And to look to your mother, you would look to the moon, and the moon is square Mars. So, it could be a little argumentative, but there could be a lot of love and nurturing too at the same time, because, I have that dynamic, and, there's just a lot going on in this chart. So I'm just going to try to go around the wheel. In Neptune, you have 0 degrees Sagittarius. So it is on the cusp of your 4th and 5th houses. So Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. It could also indicate travel as well, because, it's in Sagittarius. And Neptune and Pisces sometimes, they can indicate traveling to a foreign land. So your 5th house is Capricorn. That would be, like your love affairs, self-expression. There are no planets there, but, with Capricorn there, you would probably take them seriously. It just gives more down to earth. You'll have to break down your elements, because you are quite earthy. You have, well, predominantly your fire. You have Mars, Mars in Aries, which is the ruler of Aries, very strong. Up near your midheaven, gives you aggression and drive to strive towards your goals, whatever they are. Chiron's an asteroid, it's up there in Aries as well. And your ascendant is fire in Leo, so you present yourself very well as a fire sign. And Neptune is fire as well, and it's mutable Sagittarius, so that is 0 degrees, so it's right on the cusp between Sagittarius and Scorpio. And because Sagittarius's ruler is in Scorpio, yeah, I don't know, I keep seeing like foreign travel somehow. That's possible. Or that you may have moved. There are some squares to, well, I'm just going to try to get around the wheel first. There are some squares to, from your Neptune and Sag, to your 7th house of partnerships. Partnerships where you have the Sun in Aquarius and Venus in Pisces. So, so somehow Neptune can kind of fog things up sometimes or cause some confusion. So anyway, it's square to your relationship. So I don't know how that would play out in your relationships, but there is some conflict there, or just challenges. Maybe your loved one had to move, or it's 0 degrees Sagittarius. So so that's all your fire. Your air is Uranus, your ruler of Aquarius, which you have in the 3rd house of communication. So communications would be a very, very good, you would be very good at communicating as a job if you wanted to, because you have Pluto in your 2nd house of work, and you have Virgo, work and money and assets, and you have in Virgo's house, the 6th house of work, you have Mercury in your ruling sign Aquarius. So that would make you extraordinarily good at communication, and you would be able to do it, and it would be very changeable. And it would be very powerful communication too, though, because it is opposed to Mars. So you may need to tone it down sometimes, or it may be so changeable and unpredictable sometimes that it may come across as very strong and erratic. Let's see. Mercury, so your Sun conjunct Venus in the 7th house is very good for relationships. That would color them Aquarian. They would be your friend. There would be maybe a certain detachment, humanitarian, insensitivity. Venus is exalted in Pisces, so that would bring it to a higher level. Almost like a spirit. It would be almost like a spiritual experience to you. But there's another inconjunct from your Venus to your moon. your moon in your nurturing moon in Cancer in your 11th house, which is your home sign, which is Aquarius's house. Is what I'm trying to say. So that is a challenging aspect. So somehow your nurturing moon. Something about your Venus in your seventh house either is hidden from view to you, or your nurturing side of the moon in Cancer. Maybe you don't realize that aspect of yourself, in relationships. Um, because maybe you present as a detached Aquarian. I don't know. I don't know how, because a lot of times it conjuncts, like in my own chart, I didn't realize how they played out until I lived my life, They can be difficult to interpret at times. So anyway, moving on, the eighth house, you have your North Node, your North Node in Pisces, so that can make you extremely psychic as well. Pisces, the eighth house is the house of Scorpio, and your North Node in Pisces would make you very sensitive to psychic stuff, either astrology or just really, really tune you in to listen. It's very, very important for you to listen to your inner self and to listen to your intuition, because you have such a strong Jupiter, Jupiter in Scorpio, the North Node and Venus in Pisces exalted, and the Moon in Cancer. So those are all trine, they're water trines because they're all of the same element. And those are very positive for you to lean on, which is what I do. I lean on my water trines, trines and sextiles, the harmonious flowing aspects, to help me to deal with my, squares and oppositions, the more challenging aspects. And it helps. It does help. So your air, you have the most fire, the most water. Your air, you have Uranus, the Sun, and Mercury. Uranus is your ruling Aquarian planet, and the Sun and Mercury all in air. So communication is a very good skill for you. You could use that in your work if you wanted to. Earth would make you very practical. So you have a balance in all your elements. You have Saturn and the MC in Earth, the midheaven in Earth, and your midheaven is Taurus. So that would make you very practical. And money would be, or the acquiring of money somehow would be very important to you. Somehow to put assets up there, and to have the ruler, your ruler up there, that just gives it even more importance. And Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and Capricorn is the ruler of the midheaven. So to have it in a fellow earth sign would give it even more power. So you could use that power to make your money. And the fact that Saturn is opposed to Jupiter in your fourth house in Scorpio could perhaps be joint partnerships or inheritance, or just different ways to make money. Maybe working out of the home is psychic or something. I don't know. There's just so many ways you can play it out. So let's see, Saturn. So your Earth makes you practical. That gives you practicality, gives you the ability to, gives you common sense, the ability to realize the importance of assets, that you do have to work, how to make money, to make ends meet. And a lot of people don't have any Earth, and they're not practical at all. They're all just, dreamy in the stars. And so it's very good to have such positive Earth, especially on your midheaven when it comes to career, and to have Pluto to give you scorpionic drive in your second house to make assets, but somehow that is in conjunct to your seventh house, partnership house, relationship house. So I don't know how that played out. You know, it could have been like a separation, divorce. Uh, I don't know. I don't want to just like make random predictions out of nowhere. Uh, so yeah, there's just so much going on in this chart. So the earth that you've got going for you, the water, I would really lean on your water for intuition because I believe it will really help you. And it's very, very strong in your chart. It's meant to be there for a reason. And I just did a study on inconjuncts, and if you do have them in your chart, which you do and I do too, it is said to really, really trust your intuition, your inner self, your gut instinct, and to, because you do have to live out these challenging dynamics. And, you know, basically one of them said you can learn the easy way or the hard way. And so if you trust your instincts and your intuition, because it is extremely strong, you do have, you know, very strong water, very deep water, you know, especially the Jupiter, you would be very good with joint resources, maybe a family business or wherever Jupiter is, it brings good luck and expansion. You could have been born into a wealthy family, maybe. Yeah, so anyway, use your intuition to overcome the inconjuncts. Is what I was just reading about the other day. Yeah, so that is supposed to be the way out, and you do have a lot of water. And so you have the moon, you have Jupiter in Scorpio, and you have Venus exalted in Pisces, and the North Node in Pisces. So use that to your benefit. You know, maybe just listen to your intuition, and if you're, you know, because if you don't listen, sometimes you can attract adversarial relationships or situations or blame them, but when really it's in your chart, and you know it's an aspect in your own chart that you need to look at. So yeah, but your North Node in Pisces and Scorpio, that's extremely psychic, you know, extremely psychic, along with your Venus there, and your moon, and your Jupiter, you know, it's just, I would really lean on that heavily, because that's a blessing. That's a blessing, and I think those are some of your best aspects, because they're harmonious, they're flowing, they're either in sextile, which is, you know, 60 degrees, easy flowing to your earth. Water and earth get along. So that's from your your North Node in Venus in relationship to your earth and your midheaven, to your Saturn. And yeah, and you're kind of all over the place with this chart, but there is a lot going on. Yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, leaning on your intuition is the way out of the inconjunct. So anyway, because you do predominantly have your water and fire in your elements, your fire, your water, your air. You know, if you were looking for a career, communication would be very good for you as an Aquarian, and that having your ruling Uranus, your ruler of Aquarius, in the third house of communication in Libra, communication through the arts maybe. and also having Saturn, the ruler of Capricorn, on the MC, and Taurus in your 10th house, that's money. I mean, that's all about the drive, the initiative. Capricorn rules the midheaven, and it's the ruler. Saturn is both the ruler of Capricorn and Aquarius, so it's all about making money for you. That would be very, very important to you, to build up your assets somehow. Maybe Pluto tore them down, because where Pluto is, sometimes it's tearing down to rebuild. So maybe you're having to rebuild your assets, but you do have the drive and the ambition, because you have Aries up there, which is right near your midheaven. So use your Mars in Aries for your will, your ambition, your initiative, your drive, to use your Saturn, which is the ruler of the midheaven, in Taurus, because they're both earth signs. Capricorn and Taurus are both earth signs, and Capricorn rules the midheaven. So use that to your benefit, in your career and in your work. So you've got a lot of earth going on, which can be positive. But predominantly you're fire and water, and you've got good communication going on with the air, and earth gives you practical ability to make money. So your aspects, you have the Sun trine Jupiter and Venus trine Jupiter, which well, that's your water again. Yeah, that's your beautiful Venus and Pisces trine Jupiter in Scorpio. So that makes for very, very harmonious relationships, maybe in the home or in your relationships that you have. Wherever Venus is, it's what you like, and it makes them pleasant, and Venus is sextile to Saturn, so that can make them solid as well. Saturn creates structure, and it wants to solidify things. Let's see what other aspects. Yeah, so I really like your water trines a lot. Pluto is trine Mercury. So Pluto, I think we went over that one. Pluto, your Pluto in Virgo, in your second house of money and assets, material assets, is in trine flowing aspect to your Mercury in Aquarius. So again, I would use that for communication. Somehow your communication could be brought to another level having it in Aquarius, because that's your ruling sign, and you do have the Sun in Aquarius after all. And your ruler is in the third house of communication in Libra, so that colors it maybe through the arts perhaps. Because you are young, so I don't know whether or not you're looking for a career or wanting to for a career, or if you're looking at the relationship sector, but this is just kind of an overall general reading. So you've got some squares, like to the moon Mars. We went over the moon in sensitive Cancer to Mars, which, that's really, it could just be some squabbling. My daughter and I have that aspect, and, that doesn't mean that you don't love each other. You get over it. Get over it, but the moon in Cancer, sometimes it's so sensitive, and it gets hurt feelings. With all your water, you could get hurt feelings, and hold on to, especially, with Jupiter and Scorpio, you could hold on to some insecurities or some hurt feelings for a while, whereas Mars and Aries just dishes it out and gets over it really fast. So yeah. So anyway, I think we talked about that one. What other squares? Mercury square Saturn. So Mercury square Saturn, you could use your squares and oppositions to get ahead. Because they challenge us to grow and evolve and to get ahead. But the inconjuncts, that's the dotted line, that's the scattered dotted line. Those are the parts, the facets of ourselves that are sometimes hidden from view and we can't see, but that other people can. That, it's kind of like awkward. It can make us feel awkward, and because we don't realize. And the trick is to try to integrate them. And because you're young, maybe you can learn how to do it better than I did. But yeah, but so anyway, I was talking about Jupiter square. Let's see. I was talking about one of your squares. Yeah, I think it was Mercury square Saturn. You can use that to get ahead. And Venus square Neptune. Let me see, where's your Neptune? Venus square Neptune. Yeah, so Venus square Neptune, again, would give great sensitivity because it's right on the cusp in the 4th house. So, yeah, you could be a very extremely sensitive, intelligent, because you do have a lot of air, and all the earth would give you practicality, common sense. So it's just learning. It's about learning your chart, learning how to use your challenges and your gifts and your challenges to integrate and evolve and to use them for your benefit, And some of our, we all have challenges, and some of them, if we're aware of them, sometimes it helps, like, maybe if you have issues in relationships, maybe arguing over money, say, because Pluto's there, to be aware of that, if that is an issue. I don't know, because Venus and the Sun are in your 7th house, and they're in conjunct to Pluto in the 2nd house in Virgo. So I don't know, just maybe try not to fight over money if that's an issue. I don't know. I don't want to just throw vague stuff out there. Pluto, yeah, so anyway, there are some squares to Mercury, but you could just use those to get ahead in your communication. It challenges you. There's none to the Sun and Moon. The Sun conjunct Venus, I think, is beautiful. It can make you very attractive, especially in relationships. It can make you a draw. Yeah, so you just need to know within yourself what an attractive personality you are, because you have Leo. It's a very, very attractive ascendant to have. I mean, they're proud, they have a strong ego, but Leo is also, it's kind of in your 12th and 1st house. So, but that could color you, if you wanted to be in the arts, that's in your chart as well. Like having Taurus in the midheaven. Taurus is Venus ruled, and it also rules the voice. So I don't know if you sing or not, but um, and then Uranus, Uranus and Libra, that kind of could be the arts too. Communication somehow changeable or independent through the arts. And Leo frequently is in drama or the arts. And the reason I'm bringing up this point is because Leo is intercepted in both your 12th house, which is Pisces house, and your first house as well. So, um, anything theatrical or dramatic, drama, music, um, those could be things you could perhaps consider. So anyway, I hope you got something out of this, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And just try to learn your chart. It's always a good thing to learn different parts of ourselves, and once we do that, we can. It really does help. It really does help. I especially love transits. I like to know where the transits are, and that's what the current planets, where they are now, and if they're hitting your natal planets, the one you're born with, what's going on. What area of your life is going on. Like if it's in your money sector or your relationship sector, and that's kind of what got me into astrology. Like, okay, what is going on? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, Nick. I hope you get something out of it. Again, if you have any questions, you can email me. All right, take care.